Alright, so for those of you just tuning in, we're about to do a 4v4 on the map Salt Marsh between me and the viewers. Of course, this match is part of my weekly Twitch TV live stream, and I'd love to have you here. If you're interested, feel free to head on over to my Twitch page, link on the screen or in the video description, and then you just go to my Twitch page and scroll underneath the video player to find my live stream schedule. I do update that about every day, so make sure you keep your eyes peeled. Now I'm going to be playing as the Malians, which is of course one of the 4 new civilizations added in the African Kingdoms expansion to Age of Empires 2 HD Edition. And it's been a struggle for me to actually get a quality game as the Malians, so I'm going to do my best here. Hopefully this one turns out to be solid. We're going to be playing on Salt Marsh, which is a little bit different than the one you might remember from the CD version, which is considered to be a very bad map. This one's a little bit different, like a river of shallows divides the players, and then there's a little bit of shallows in the middle. It's generally not worth docking for fish on this. Ranger's Mattress is one of the 7 players now whose team's games have been infiltrated by a Smurf. My games are always infiltrated by a Smurf. Now the real question is, does windscreen wipers connect? Hello, Dr. Oliver! Welcome, and windscreen wipers does connect. We are in. I believe this map also has a few extra forage bushes, so cool. I'm on the same team with Tim K, Kanye West, and Mr. Pete. Okay. So let's do this. Perfect. Thank you so much. Stale Prince the HRA for the resub. Thank you, Liam. Lots of hunt indeed. Dr. Palin says it's not worth docking unless you're Japanese build fishing ships with fish traps. I'm not sure if it's still worth it to do that, but maybe it is. Maybe it is. Probably not something you would do super early on. I suppose with Jill nets, fish traps are not that bad. It's not like they're necessarily bad, it's just that they're slow. And it's a big wood investment early on, but I think you could definitely make a case for building them at some point. So you can go with the usual, you know, 6 on sheep. Go for a lumber camp. Probably since I'm in the pocket position, as I'm adjacent to my teammates, I'm not adjacent to an enemy, so we call the pocket. If I was adjacent to an enemy, it'd be called the flank. Due to the longer rush distance between me and my opponents, we will be able to fast castle age safely without a military. Very, very little risk, so I'll want to try and take advantage of some sort of pocket units. I'm not sure, are there extra sheep on this map, or are some of these going to be Tims? Well, I'll assume some of them are Tims, and there's no extra sheep. I'll probably go for a fast castle age into knights. Relatively standard play. 49 food kind of sucks. Yuck. I'm not sure if, as the Malians, I need to be going 4 on wood, because, well, I actually get the cheaper wood cost for buildings, but maybe I could use that for extra farms, so maybe I still want to do that. Send those extra turkeys. Hello, Eyewitness Chicken. Welcome to the stream. Always a pleasure to have you. Both you and San Antonio made an appearance today, which is pretty cool. Got a big surprise for you guys soon. Although if you're watching this on... Oh, you bastard. I was gonna say, if you're watching this on YouTube, I've probably already... The Kickstarter's probably already started, but... And I'll probably have already made the announcement video. Or maybe I won't. Maybe I'll upload this really early. Regardless, I've been working on designing an indie RTS game called Feudal Wars, and you may have seen the tech demo that I did. After I saw the tech demo, you know, Chris offered a partnership, and I decided to accept it because I was that impressed with the tech demo. And now I'm helping do the community management for the game and the design. Now, obviously, I'm not designing everything. So not everything that you see in Feudal Wars is something that I did, but I did most of it. Right now we're working on a prototype tech tree and everything. It's going to be super fun. It's basically going to be what Age of Empires... I hope that it turns out to be what Age of Empires 2 HD could have been. The Age of Empires sequel we deserve. It's going to be the gameplay that we all know and love, with of course some unique twists on it. I hope it's going to be really, really good. And I'll of course be collecting feedback on that throughout the development process. But we live and die on Kickstarter, so if you're watching this live... anyone that, you know, is able to pledge anything on the first day, it would be tremendously helpful from an exposure standpoint, because if we get a bunch of pledges on the first day, then Kickstarter will, you know, put us up in the search results. So I hope that this can become a reality. It's looking very, very good right now. And if you're interested in seeing my video on the demo, which again is just, it's just a tech demo, the gameplay and graphics are all placeholders, feel free to check that out. And if I upload this somewhere down the line, then I probably have already posted the Kickstarter video. I'll go grab that guy. The Malians are very strong civilization African kingdoms, and if you want to hear my thoughts on the current state of balance, then you're more than welcome to check out my How Balanced Are the New Civilizations video, which I go very in-depth about that. Despite the Malians being a very strong civilization and debatedly the strongest civilization African kingdoms, I have not been able to get that many great games as them. I suppose it's just bad luck with team compositions and whatnot. So yeah, hopefully this one turns out a little bit better. Could go for the Night Rush or something like that. If I was on the flank, I could probably... Because one of the cool things the Malians can do is they can go for some sort of, you know, like Drush into Men-at-Arms thing, and their Men-at-Arms are very strong due to the extra 1 pierce armor that their infantry get as they advance through the ages. Happens 3 times. That's actually very strong if you go for a Drush and you keep the militia alive. You can upgrade them to Men-at-Arms. You can even make a couple extra ones. And you can maybe even transition to Long Swordsman. With the addition of Arson, honestly, Long Swordsman play might not be terrible from the Malians, and it might be reasonably good. It's something I'd like to experiment with, but it's not great from the pocket position. So here I'm going to be opening up a little bit more standard with some sort of like Knight play to back up my flank, and then beyond that I'll transition into the more standard Malian army comp that we see, which usually involves their very strong champions, Halberdiers, and perhaps some Gbetos, maybe some siege weapons in there. It's going to be a lot of fun. Of course, if you're having difficulty dealing with the Malians champions and Halberdiers because they're such high pierce armor, I highly recommend things like champions, and hand cannoneers are fantastic. If you have good champions, since the Malians don't get blast furnace, you should be able to just beat them in a straight up fight. Because yeah, without blast furnace, the extra pierce armor doesn't matter when they're fighting champions. Okay, so I think Porglit is the guy I'll be going for. Is the Inca's flank pretty good? Saga of the Dragon says, what civilization is going to be available? We're still working on that. You'll see all that in the Kickstarter. Fluorescent toilet paper. Awesome, Frank or Sinatra. Dividius 200 pop. High-rated game for the... I'll be playing as the Malians is Salt Marsh. Perfect. I think I'll go for the market, actually, because I want the cartography vision. Since cartography is free, I do think it's actually worthwhile to grab that a little early. Try and task these in a more efficient manner. Make one more Vil. It's a very fast feudal age from Conquest, so he's probably going for some sort of scout play. If I had to guess, Persians. Okay, he's going to probably Persian scouts. Thank you, Waffle Cone. Oh, don't worry about it, man. You know, worst comes to worst, I watch it during lunch and I get a kick out of it. An Irish Nomad, an indie RTS game called Feudal Wars. The Aoe2 HD remake we deserve, or at least I'd like to think. And I hope that with the feedback from all of you guys, that we can make this game, like, absolutely kick-ass. Tail says this Salt Marsh can be very unfair with the map generation. That is true, except in the new Salt Marsh for Aoe2 HD that they changed in the Forgotten, they made it so docking for fish is generally not a great option. They changed the map quite a bit. What is she doing? So I think it actually balances out quite nicely. Yeah, I think that the current Salt Marsh is actually pretty fun. It's grown on me. The Jarla friend says, how long is the stream going? I don't know, 3 hours? 2.5 hours? Yeah, I think our mods are great. But of course I'm also like open to people's feedback. Keep in mind, Dark Paladin, that you gotta respect the mods. They are people too. You can politely disagree with them, and then if you're polite about it, I might even agree with you. But you have to be very polite about it. Doesn't really do you much of a favor to whisper profanity towards my mods. It makes it very happy for me to, sorry, that makes it very hard for me to, like, actually be on your side, I guess. 'Cause I'm a pretty reasonable, relaxed guy, I guess. I think my mods are very reasonable too, of course, but you know me. I'm very relaxed with the rules, but if you swear at my mods, then that makes it harder. He says, what's your third favorite civilization? That's a tricky question. Not really sure. Magyars? Thank you, Saga the Dragon. Yet? Ooh. That's fine. We'll go with that. Shafocat says, how long do you expect to be streaming for? Usually I do 2 to 3 games. Depends how long this one is. So put down the barracks. Get the cartography. See how my flank Mr. Pete's doing. He's not going for any sort of aggression. Don't see anything from Porglet yet. Appears to be a fast castle age into crossbows. Maybe cav archers or just a very delayed archer push. Meanwhile, that is a stable. Slavs going for knights. Scout fight going on over here between Ethiopians and Persians. Tim with a... Nicely done, Tim. Wow. Yes. Oh, Gloopod, I get way too much spam on Twitch. I really need to figure out... And on my Facebook page, I really need to figure out how I can... I need a system where people can just send me messages easier. I mean, if you're okay with it being public, my Steam group is a good way to reach me. Or just tell me on Twitch, and I'll try and find it, Gloopot. If you can remind me, I will try and find it. Yes. Let's go for a Z or one stable. 1 L. Cool. Grab skill barding. I could go second stable. But we appear to be in a pretty good spot. I haven't seen anything from Porglet here. I don't know what Porglet would go for. Probably Expos. If he's going for something like Eagles and transition to Pikes, that's not so good for me. I do think that I actually want to build a town center pretty soon. So, I think what I'll do is have these guys build a TC. Okay. Make some knights from one stable to start, and then I will be tacking on some more. But it appears that this is a very defensive area, so I don't feel the need to overcommit to knights unless necessary. I haven't seen anything from Orange yet. I know he has a barracks, obviously, but I don't know what he's. I don't necessarily know what he's doing. So if I overcommit to knights and for some reason he has pikes or something, that would be terrible. Or if he's full walled up, so I'd rather just try and build a strong early game lead if I can. Ah, yes. Free gold mining. Can probably build a second stable now. I wanted to delay it a little bit, because I don't think it's super necessary that I get out that many knights. I'll scout him out, I think. Righto. 73. Algie says, what rating would you say people try to flush? I've seen people flush at all sorts of elos. As soon as you are able to keep your town center always working and not idle, then, you know, then I think that it's fine to start flushing. I think those knights are coming to me, which sucks. Did I make any spears or pikes? I might keep this knight in the defensive. Should I make pikes? I think those knights are coming to me. Make some camels. So he does have spears. That's what I thought. And he's a defensive knight, so I'm gonna pull back a little bit. Still don't know where those knights were necessarily going. Come on. Let's make some camels. Wonder if I can get in there. Tika the Pika says, what do you think about the Hearthstone news, phasing expansions, and card packs? Something I would be happy to do a video on. Just a specific entire video on. I have mixed feelings on it. I feel like maybe my TLDR response would be, you know, maybe the game would be better off with something like a core set. Rather than, I don't know if the classic set will necessarily make a great sort of foundation. I don't think it was ever intended to be a core set for the game, so I'm a little bit disappointed that things like tribals are going to inevitably get phased out. Things like mechs, unless we get a lot of mechs, it's really going to become a lot weaker over time. And I don't think they can afford to continue releasing tribals every single thing. So we'll see, though. I'm very excited to play the new meta regardless, even though there are a lot of bad cards, I think, as well, that also I wish could see some play. but we'll never get to really see that much play. I think it's a reasonable solution, but... Hello, Sainsbury. Sigma says, can you ever have too many Rams? Absolutely. Need something to back him up. So yeah, it's like... Hey, we get to undo a lot of power creep, which I think is really good, because I do sort of miss that classic style of gameplay where things like, I don't know, board clears and card advantage were a lot more important to the game. But there's a lot of bad cards that get phased out too, along with a lot of the ones that needed some attention. If Blizzard does a reasonable job at balancing Wild, then if they're willing to make changes when necessary, which they said they are, then it'll probably work out. So I think it's all right. We'll see. Also, Lenra, you'd have to change. Yeah, you basically, like, the core set I think should be not necessarily classic, but just take some cards. Some whatever ones they deem are important. Yes. Some baseline things like you know, it'd probably have to have Mech Warper for mech decks to be viable, even though Mech Warper is a little crazy. But it's not like mech decks have been dominant for, you know, they haven't been a significant part of the metagame in a while. I don't really like where this game is going with all those pikemen. So maybe I should just leave him alone. Transition to something else. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go for someone else now, I think. Well, Myth asks, can you ever have too many Ford universities? No. Airline says, how do you beat the Night Rush counter of pikes? My maker is decent but not particularly good, so I can avoid them well and make long swords into counter pikes, but night production is pretty expensive. Yeah, I mean, generally I would just, you know, not engage if possible, just go for someone else. Which is what I'm going to do now. And then transition to something else. But the thing is that the pikes are slow, so the fact that he had some spearmen initially helped. If he didn't have, like, a few knights from Pure, I might have been able to do something. That's alright. So if I manage to do some damage to him here, then I think that's fine. In the meantime, I can probably just transition into something else. So it's not a huge loss for these guys. This is not great placement for farms. Probably can build another town center soon. Oh, just do as much ego damage as I can. Spearman's not going to do squat. Way too much gold, dude. 'Cause I'm not gonna need any of this gold. I just thought I was gonna be making a lot more knights than I actually did, so I got all this. Running roughshod over this guy's base. Probably send the other two knights in there as well. He does have some camels. At some point I'll have to pull out. I think it's okay that I'm floating this much gold, at least for now. As long as I fix that down the line. Okay, well, I think it's about time that I pull out of here, as it looks like some Grey Knights have arrived as well, so... That was really good! I don't know if that's true sick mode, but I used to pretend like that was true when I was a wee lad. Slingers. Fascinating. So what I could do here... I have still way too much gold, but again, at least I'll spend it at some point. It's that Malians gold mining bonus I'm not used to. It's too powerful, man. Well, just keep moving up. Spend this gold at some point, I suppose. Probably pull off everything off gold, basically. At least temporarily speaking. But I'm gonna need to put all those bills on gold eventually, so... it balances out. Like, I have, like, no gold miners at all right now. Oogie oogie. Well. Probably make those the ones, actually. Make some long swords. He's got slingers, though. Oh. How concerned am I about slingers? Not really. He's up. Okay. Hello, Zigwite. Looks like Forge is having a rough game. I think I can just be content to sit here, transition to some infantry. Boom up. Clearly, I already have a lead here, so I'm not in any rush to apply that much pressure, because I know he has a pretty good military right now, so I don't want to throw away my lead by doing something, I guess, a little rash. Okie dokie. So we can put down Dos Barracks. Also put down a Siege Workshop as well, I think. Ah, yes. I knew this day would come. You know, I'm not even gonna make pikes for that, actually. Yeah, I'm not even gonna make pikes for that. That's fine. What the fuck? Okay. What are you doing, my friends? Then I want a castle. Where do I want it? Oh. Where do I want this castle? This is a fine place to start. Intercept some raids. Idiots. Should be able to get to the next stage pretty soon. Heals. Eagles and slingers, eh? How do I feel about that? It's probably fine. That's probably fine. Especially if Pete has some sort of answer to slingers for me. Okay, now I'm low on gold again. I knew this day would come. Okay. Pull out. Tigwee's fine. Mangonel is pretty good against the slingers. Good, he does have an answer to slingers. I still probably want more military buildings. So I can just do that. That sucks dick. Oh, he's gonna have to deal with that, unfortunately, because I have no more camels. I think I want a castle right here. Okay. We go for some Farimba cavalry as a way to deal with those slingers. I think I'll be able to push out right about now. Yeah, now the Pete's up to Imp. I was waiting for that for Treb support. And, I mean, not Pete, sorry. Pete has already been up to Imp, actually. I'm waiting for Treb support. Now that I'm up to Imp, I can throw in some Trebs. Okay, this is actually turning out to be a really good game. There we go. Finally get to show off the Malians. And all their glory. I do want Frimba. That tech is expensive. This is fine. Thank you so much, Catharsis, for the resub. Much appreciated. 3-month anniversary. He needs to move in himself. As soon as this Treb comes, I'm pretty much golden. How much is Rimba? Good. It's actually not that expensive. That tech is pretty solid. Champion. Notice how I'm shifting my villagers around between resources based off what I need. Clearly I have too much wood right now, which at some point I will run out, so I guess that's fine. Ah, it sucks dick. Why'd you do this to me? How could you do this to me? You're tearing me apart, Pure. Do you understand raiding? Do you? Ah, it sucks. Jerk. The camel sound is the best sound in the game. People are very strange these days. Whoa, it's that beautiful noise again. I think that noise plays every time Microsoft gets paid. Ka-chunk, $1,000. Ka-chunk. No. These are my teams, guys. Good. That's fine. Probably need to actually get guilds at some point. I also need to really get Halberdier. Perfecto. Economy is honestly kind of weak. I feel like I didn't make enough vills this game. I must not have. I think I underboomed. Ah! I did underboom. I also just lost a lot of villagers. So it's a combination of probably underbooming, as I think I want like 120 vills for my needs. And I also just lost a lot of my farmers, so And I was already a little weak in the food department. There's like a gather point set inside there, which is probably not good. Which barracks are they coming from? Probably this one. Not bad. Game needs more fart trumpets, indeed. Alright, good night for Bricks. Thank you for tuning in. Hello, Crosby. Underboomed. This is surprisingly cheap. Yeah, that's surprisingly cheap. Okay.
Yes.
Nice rating, friend. Some good shit. Cool. Yes, this is a better representation of everything. Malians power. I can probably even build more barracks. Even though I can't sustain production from all of them, I think I still want them. Because at some point, I'm gonna need to replenish my army really quickly. And that I can do, at least. Pop is still too low. Malians do not have the best camels in the game, if it is. But their camels are pretty good. Pretty sure they'd be Indians. But I mean, the Saracen ones can be pretty good in the right situation, too. Malian ones are good, but they're not, like, the best.
Sure, blame it on your ISP.
Unit pathing, yes. Oh, they need to fix that. Probably put this Trev a little far forward, honestly. Like, I think I can just, oh, sorry. Do I want to put another thing there? Probably not, right? Probably put a castle over here. On the southern end of things.
Yes.
That's fine. Need more halbs. Davidia says, who is the best forward universe in the game? Kissing Byzantines for extra HP. Nailed it. Spanish can build them faster, though. Need gold. HD never change. Is the unit passing? I think I'm still underboomed. I lost so many villagers to that raid. I lost a lot more than I think I did. That's for sure. I did lose a lot of villagers. Wow. I know that I'm underboomed because I can't get to 200 pops sustaining military production, so... I'm not that underboomed. I probably need like 10 more villagers. 10 goes a long way. Probably undeploy this. Probably just make halbs. Oh my god, says, Malians is amazing. Good forward universities, costless wood. Touche. Probably make camels too. Look at these bad boys. I have civil reviews for all the new civilizations if any of you are interested in seeing a little bit of what they're like. Should probably delete some of these buildings at some point to clear out a little bit more room for the trade line, but it's not a huge deal right now. It will be eventually, because Unipathic in HD gets worse progressively over time. Now, I'm actually in a unique position where I could just be raiding him really heavily with cavalry, since we don't need those troops in the front line right now. You can't always raid, but if you don't need the troops right now, then yeah, this is a situation where I could be. Question is, do I want to? The stutter is here. It require me to have more cavalry. I think I have about the correct amount of villagers now, too. Because you also don't want to overdo it and start floating a lot of resources. But, you know, worst comes to worst if you overdid it. You can always distribute it to your teammates who aren't at max pop. I'm not in a huge rush, I guess, to push through there, because we're actually winning this side. And, ooh, raiding party. I have, like, 1 or 2 idols. It's pretty insignificant. I don't need to queue up any more of those villas. Actually, I'll put them on wood. Wood becomes very important. Indeed, well played, Mr. Tim. The old Aoe2 HD, stop and go, stop and go. Aoe2 Stutter Edition. Well played, everybody. Teammates did a really good job this time. This is a solid game. Oh my god, I finally got a pretty good game as the Malians. Nice. Cool, now I have a very good video for each civilization. And I got to showcase a bunch of their units and strengths. One thing that is very good with this civ, and I covered this in my How Balanced Are the African Kingdom Civilizations, New Civilizations video, is this idea that if you back up, if you get like enough elite Gbetos, and you use them to protect the siege line, they are very similar to hand cannoneers, I suppose. This sort of hand cannoneer siege combination. Very strong. So, I didn't really make that many siege weapons this game, but I had a couple of trebs, Pete had a couple of trebs, and with arson I didn't really need it. I mostly just needed boots on the ground. But yeah, a siege with the Gbeto can be very, very good. Gbetos are very frail though, and they're, you know, quite weak to onager shots, assuming that you can actually aim it quite nicely. They're very weak to things like archers. So they have counters, but this unit is very strong. In fact, the Malians is just very strong in general. This is pretty weak though to opposing infantry. So it's a fun and interesting civilization. Their economy bonus cannot be underestimated. It's quite fun. I would like to see though, I would like to finally get a good game with the early game sort of like militia, men-at-arms, long swordsman style play. Pretty cool. Another cool thing is we also got to see the Malians actually played in the last game of the African Kingdoms 3v3 showcase. They were played in game 2, I think, as well. But in game 4, we really got to see them come out on top. This one says I was asleep, do it again. GG, well played. Welcome to Diaper. Hope to see you around in the future, man. GG. You guys did really, really well. Like, this is a solid game. Well done, everybody. Some good plays all around. And Tim, with the heavy Mangudai rating, I think made a huge difference. You know, Orange might not have had a particularly largest army, but you can see in his units killed, units lost, that he was, you know, putting up one hell of a fight. And, you know, size doesn't mean everything. We can see here the importance of having a very large economy. I suppose in Tim's case, he just had a huge military. But, yeah, you want at least 100 villagers, and lo and behold, a lot of these will be trade carts in this case. So, yeah, it's pretty rock solid. Poor Forge got a pretty rough start there. Got attacked really heavily. But I think he did a really good job trying to fight back as well. As we can see, he did end up getting a pretty sizable army. So yes, GG well played. Hope you guys enjoyed watching this one. If you did, I have plenty of other videos of Age of Empires 2, as well as videos of other games. So if you like this one, you'll probably like those as well. At some point in the near future, or has already happened, Field Wars Kickstarter on the way. Hopefully you guys can show your support, and we can make an awesome RTS game together. Bring back the old school RTS games that we missed. And I'll also probably be doing some Hearthstone stuff soon, which again, I know that is something that some of you might not be interested in, but if you support the channel at all and you want to see Age of Empires 2, you want to continue seeing more Age of Empires 2, just more resonance in general, then I really appreciate, I guess, any support I can get there. Give it a chance, hopefully. And yes, when you support that, you support more AoE. Of course, I'm open to your ideas, though. I could also do something like Duelist instead. Who knows? As always, guys, thank you for watching. Find the live stream schedule on my Twitch page. If you're watching live, though, there's still one more game after this, so don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after the break. 1 to 2 minutes. GG, well played. There's another game after this, yes. Alright, we'll be right back. That was a good one, man. That was good.